Alright, here's our basic chord progression in the key of D. Our chords are D, G, A7, and then back to D. If you don't know these chords, go ahead and skip over to the end of the video and check them out, and then you can come back and practice them with me. Alright, so our chord progression will do 4 chords per measure, so you can hear what they sound like. Alright, it's going to go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, that's our chord progression. Now let's add some rests. Alright, we'll play 1 chord followed by 3 rests per measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now let's try 2 chords and 2 rests per measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, now let's do 3 chords and 1 rest per measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, and now we can do 4 chords per measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, that's your chord progression in D major. Okay, let's learn our chords in the key of D major. Okay, starting with the D chord. Okay, we're not going to use the low E or the A string for this chord. The D string we're going to play open. The G string we're going to put our first finger on the 2nd fret. The B string we're going to put our 3rd finger on the 3rd fret. And the high E we're going to put our 2nd finger on the 2nd fret. Alright, the G chord, you should already know the 4-string version here. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the full version in this video. 2nd finger goes on the low E string, 3rd fret. 1st finger goes on the A string, 2nd fret. We play open D, open G, open B, and then the 3rd finger goes on the high E, 3rd fret. Now if you want to just play the 4th string version until you get used to this chord change, then go ahead and do that. Alright, now let's look at the A7 chord. Okay, low E string we're not going to use for this version. We're going to play open A. On the D string we'll put our 1st finger on the 2nd fret. We'll play open G. On the B string we'll put our 2nd finger on the 2nd fret, and then we'll play a high E open. You can also use a 2nd finger and a 3rd finger here. There are advantages to doing it both ways, so that's up to you on how you want to do the fingerings there. I'll give you a couple options. Alright, now let's see what they look like on the guitar. Alright, let's start with the D chord. We're going to play the 4th string here, open. 3rd string, we're going to put our 1st finger here on the 2nd fret. Our 2nd string, we're going to put our ring finger here on the 3rd fret. And on the high E string, we'll put our middle finger on the 2nd fret. So you can see that. I have my 2nd finger here, 1st finger here, 3rd finger here. Okay, pluck 4 strings, and that's the D chord. Okay, G chord, you should already know this version. So the 4-string version, you put your 3rd finger here on the 1st string. Alright, for the full version, our 1st finger goes here on the A string, 2nd fret. Our middle finger goes here on the low E string, 3rd fret. That's our G chord. And then A7, we have an open 5th string. On the 4th string, we have a 1st finger on the 2nd fret, open G. Our 2nd finger goes on the 2nd string, 2nd fret. and then open E, and you play 5 strings. Okay, so first finger here, skip the 3rd string, and then 2nd finger goes here. So, alright, so I told you earlier that there were 2 options for this. You can use a 1 and 2 here, or a 2 and a 3, 2nd finger here and 3rd finger here. And that depends on where you're coming from and where you're going as to what fingering you might use. So I use the 1 and 2 here because it's easy to get to the D chord. I just take these fingers and go up 1 string and then add the 3rd finger back in. So that's one way to do it. Now for a 2-3, if you go from the A7, what you can do to get to the D chord is just slide that 3rd finger up 1 fret and then add the other 2 fingers back in for the D. So that's up to you as to how you want to do it. Alright, now that you know your chords, let's go ahead back and play the progression.